how often does a Bambai Meri Jaan come when you are getting all kinds of offers?
I wait for stuff which interests me.
Right.
And again, the interest is very subjective.
Okay.
What interests me might not interest you, for example,
Right.
anybody else.
What fascinates you about this genre?
Their decisions, the people in this world, their dynamic, what's important to them, their priorities, and even their moral compass to a great extent is so different from us. I think that's what fascinates us.
It's a story which is absolutely non-judgmental in terms of the characters. It's a great story which we have presented.
Do you want to tell the viewers where does she come in? What is it that you didn't know about this character that you found out?
परिवार में जो कुछ घट रहा है, यहाँ तक कि बाहर के डिसीजंस भी घर पे क्या लिए जा रहे हैं, ये सब सकीना कादरी के नाक के नीचे हो रहा है और उसका से है हर चीज में.
Guys, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. Firstly, I'm doing this interview just after the trailer has come out. तो आप लोगों ने कुछ सुना है क्या, या मैं आपको बताऊं क्या क्या रिएक्शंस रहे हैं? No, totally, firstly, it's a genre I go to. I loved it, and from whatever I'm seeing on social media, you all are getting a great response, and rightly so. This is a great team to put a show together. I'll start from here. सबसे पहले आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा, ये अंडरवर्ल्ड के साथ जो ऑब्सेशन है, बहुत सारे फैंस हैं, myself included. What is this bad boy obsession about? That we love seeing stories of a negative character, say, for example.
पहली बात तो यहाँ कोई ऑब्सेशन है नहीं. दूसरी बात ये है कि कहानी सुनाने का दारोमदार हमारे ऊपर है.
No, तो हमारा ऑब्सेशन एज फैंस.
As fans,
yeah,
okay. तो वो सेटिस्फाई शायद हो जाएगा इसमें आपका ऑब्सेशन. बट इतना है कि कहानी जो है ना, वो इस पूरे ब्रह्मांड में 8 कहानियां हैं जी सिर्फ. उसको आप किस तरह से पेश करते हो ये अलग अलग है जी. अब कल्लू टू कालिया एक फॉर्मेट है, अनरिक्विटेड लव स्टोरी एक फॉर्मेट है, ऐसे 8 फॉर्मेट हैं. पर फिल्म मेकर की अपनी भाषा होती है जी. वो किस तरह से उसको पेश करता है, उसमें वो अलग थलग लगता है जी. वरना कहानियां तो वही है. तो आपको कभी एक कहानी में वो सिमिलैरिटी लगेगी, वो लगेगी, बट वो इंटेंशनल नहीं है. जो यहाँ पे जो मकसद था जी, इरादा था इनफैक्ट, कि एक परिवार की कहानी सुनाई जाए. एक परिवार जो ऐसे माहौल में जीते हैं जहाँ क्राइम होता है, जहाँ पे हर चीज की अभिव्यक्ति जो है वो हमेशा क्राइम की तरफ ही होता है जी. और एक बच्चे की अपनी कंडीशनिंग होती है, एक फैमिली का अपना कंडीशनिंग होता है उस माहौल में जी. उस प्रकार की एक कहानी है, और उसमें क्या क्या टेंशन्स हैं, क्या क्या नहीं है, तनाव, उसके बारे में कहानी. राइट. तो हाँ, ये बात अलग है कि उस माहौल में क्राइम का एक माहौल है, है. लेकिन ये इंटेंशन से किसी ने नहीं बनाया जी कि चलो यार बैड बॉय को दिखाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं.
जी बिल्कुल. शुजात, आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा, मुंबई अंडरवर्ल्ड की स्टोरी कई बार बोली गई है और कई बार बोली जाएगी. हमेशा जब भी आती है, there's so much interest. There's interest in the media, there's interest on social media today we are seeing. What according to you is something that that always works when it at least comes to grabbing eyeballs?
It's got to do with a fascination with crime, as a society. Right. Of course, if there is good, there is bad, and there is always that thin line that you want to tread onto the other side and live a certain preconceived lifestyle that one thinks that these people live. Unfortunately, our story isn't about that. Right. It's a story which is absolutely non-judgmental in terms of the characters. It's a great story which we have presented and let the audience make up their mind. But yes, I do agree with you. There is a certain attraction, whether you call it bad boy or living vicariously through these characters. There are different shades in all of us, and there is this one shade which does attract us to a certain, as I said, perception or certain screen image of these characters that has been created, which is larger than life. Right. Our story is a very realistic story about a family and what the family goes through in this environment that they are pitted in. how one man is trying to protect his family within that environment, which is absolutely harmful. I would say on a different level, there is a lesson, a very strong messaging as well, which is involved in the narrative. And yeah, I think besides that, people are going to enjoy seeing it. It's dramatic, it's fun, it's extremely emotional. That forms the core of the story.
राइट इनसे तो आपसे पूछूंगा जब भी मुंबई गैंगस्टर्स की स्टोरी आती है या ऐसी जैसे आप लोग की एक फिक्शनल स्टोरी है, women play a very good part, solid part. आपके कैरेक्टर की बात करें, do you want to tell the viewers where does she come in? What is it that you didn't know about this character that you found out?
पता ही है, कहानी एक परिवार की है प्राइमरीली जी, फिर परिवार में क्या घटता है और उससे one thing leads to the other and कई चीजें। तो इस कहानी में, इस परिवार में मैं सकीना कादरी किरदार का नाम है और इस्माइल कादरी की पत्नी है। वो घर के बाहर क्या चल रहा है वो उसके दायरे के बाहर है, उसके कंट्रोल के, बट परिवार में जो कुछ घट रहा है, यहाँ तक कि बाहर के डिसीजंस भी घर पे क्या लिए जा रहे हैं, ये सब सकीना कादरी के नाक के नीचे हो रहा है और उसका से है हर चीज में, डिसीजन मेकिंग में। यहाँ तक कि आप देखेंगे कहानी में कई चीजें ऐसी होती हैं जो सकीना के डिसीजंस लेने की वजह से घटती हैं और लोगों के, परिवार के लोगों के ही लाइव्स पलट जाते हैं। तो वो इंट्रिंसिक हिस्सा है। तो एज यू सेड, विमेन आर वेरी स्ट्रांग और जो कुछ भी हो रहा है, उठना बैठना घटना, घर के अंदर क्या हो रहा है, वो हर कुछ सकीना की रजामंदी से ही हो रहा है। इनफैक्ट सकीना करने के दौरान भी ऐसा ही था कि जो आपने कहा कि मैंने जो नहीं जाना, वो यही कि करते करते मुझे एहसास हुआ कि सकीना का दायरा उसका घर है, इस्माइल है, दारा है, यहाँ तक कि उनकी बेटी है हबीबा, बाकी किरदार भी हैं कहानी में, वो घर में है, घर से बाहर भी जा रहे हैं, लेकिन ये किरदार प्राइमरीली केवल घर के अंदर है। तो उसकी पूरी दुनिया ही यही है और जो कुछ भी घट रहा है वो परिवार को जोड़ने में ही लगी हुई है सकीना। और परिवार को जोड़ने में वो परिवार कहाँ बिखर रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, वो भी काफी हद तक इसके डिसीजंस की वजह से होता है। सो उसकी दुनिया, उसका ये परिवार है, ये घर है जहाँ रह रही है। 16 नंबर खोली, आई रिमेम्बर। तो वो मुझे ये भी नहीं पता कि कितने लोगों को पता होगा, लेकिन सकीना के लिए उसका घर इतना महत्वपूर्ण था कि मुझे मेरी खोली का नंबर भी याद है।
Right. Kritika, I'll ask you, first question is this one of the genres that you like watching like me? I love this genre. And secondly, what fascinates you about this genre?
I really do. I do. And I know a lot of people do. And I think what's fascinating is the fact that it's so different from our world.
Right.
The values that inform their decisions, the people in this world, their dynamic, what's important to them, their priorities, and even their moral compass to a great extent is so different from us. I think that's what fascinates us. So as a character study or as a, psychologically you're drawn to these characters because you want to know how they think and why they think the way they do.
Right.
And that's what is very exciting to watch and definitely very exciting to play because as an audience also you live vicariously through other characters and stories that you watch.
Right.
And as an actor, you're lucky because you get to live that for a bit.
Right.
And, explore sides and emotions and things within you that can make that moment believable. And you can be truthful in that very moment, being so different cerebrally from the character.
Correct.
That is challenging and exciting in equal parts.
Nice, right. Kassim, I'll ask you, this can always be a movie. So why did you all choose a web? Why not a movie in the theaters and why on OTT?
We didn't want to concise it in 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Each of these characters have a chalked out arc.
Right.
And we wanted to tell these individual stories at length.
Okay.
When you're making a feature film, then you are concise to 2.5 hours. And hence we've done a 10-parter where every character is well defined and they have a proper arc.
Nice. Right. आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा, you are one of the best actors we have around. I really say that with full conviction.
Thank you.
What I want to ask you is, OTT is such a crowded space now. हर रोज कुछ release हो रहा है. What I want to, my question is, how often does a Bambai Meri Jaan come when you are getting all kinds of offers?
When Bambai Meri Jaan comes, I take it up. So yeah, till then I wait. I wait for stuff which interests me.
Right.
And again, the interest is very subjective.
Okay.
What interests me might not interest you, for example,
Right.
anybody else. So so I wait for those kind of things.
Okay.
And I still believe in voice over noise.
Okay.
So for me, that's very important. Okay. That particular project or that particular show or film or whatever it is has to give me that kind of satisfaction.
Okay.
I don't think I would like to be drowned in the noise. So for me, that's important. So projects like these, when they come, you take it up because you know the expanse of that project. You know that it's not just a small story; it's a saga. And also the painstaking effort taken by everybody in terms of creating a certain believable world.
Right.
When you see all that, you feel you're safe,
right.
As an actor, because then you got to just do your job.
Right.
You need not think about anything else, because that's all well taken care of. So that's where the difference lies. So for me, and crowded on OTT, yes, of course, crowd is there everywhere. But I think certain shows and certain films have their own voice.
Yes.
And that voice will be heard in the entire crowd. India is a populated country anyway, so no problem.
Right.
But you create a space in OTT. And OTT, as he said, as Kassim said, has the facility of really juicing it out. And juicing it out, of course, has its own perils, but juicing it out well with hard work, etc., etc. It's a wholesome meal that you'll have, and this saga will provide that. That's what I feel.
So you choose for the good. You choose and wait for the good meaty roles. Something that's that you believe in. Is it in the gaps? Is it easy to say no to almost everything that you're not convinced about?
Not necessarily what I believe in.
Okay.
Again, as I said, it's to do with a subjective thing. You fall in love with something, you just keep doing it.
Okay.
And about saying no, yeah, it's in between. I do say no to some stuff which doesn't appeal to me somehow. It just doesn't appeal to me for some vague reason. So I say no. उस गली में जाना ही नहीं है, kind of a thing. So I take up things which I feel fond of, and I keep doing. And plus, also it matters with whom you're dealing with. So it's possible that a script is fantastic, and then you meet the director and the makers, and you realize, oh, okay, now there's a problem here because this is good, but it's entrusted with somebody who can't pull this off. That also matters. So the wavelength of how they're thinking and how all that comes into you.
Right.
And once you have everything packed, then you say, okay, let's go.
Nice, very interesting. I'll ask you, as much as you say this is not based on anything, people will draw parallels to, it's called Bambai. Bambai has had stories of Dawood and everyone. People who will draw parallels. What should they expect? Is this based on something? Where are these inspirations from?
So I'll tell you, the seed of this is, of course, from Hussain Zaidi Saab.
Right.
It is his story. He came with the story to us.
Yeah.
And it was based on his extensive reporting over the last 3 decades.
Right.
Of course, I think a large bunch of people are drawing parallels because of the books that he has written, and that is bound to happen. Right? I mean, he's got such a massive repertoire. So, but the story is an original story. It's a fictional story. It goes way beyond the books. If I may say so, Dongri to Dubai is what it is inferred on, which it is not. It is way beyond that, because his career has spanned for so long.
Yeah.
Right. And all that is in the past. This is a new story. The world is, of course, the same. The crime world is the same. And you will find commonalities in certain areas because the graph of it has been the same. If you're talking about Indian politics, for example, or if you're talking about Indian sport, or if you're talking about cricket, it's very difficult to eliminate certain, characters or moments in history. because that is what the universe and the world is made up of, right? But yes, having said that, it is a complete fictional story which was brought to life by the entire writing team, Renzel and our writers, and then of course translation from paper to film eventually. But yeah, I think what people can expect is a really, really powerful, epic, saga of a city, and it's a love story. It's an ode to Bombay from us.
Nice. I have to wrap this. You'll have to do a lot more interviews. But quickly before going, I'll ask all of you one question. Your favorite Mumbai underworld movie or show, anything that you've seen, or a book or something that...
Favorite, again, the favorite question is something I can't really answer.
Something that you enjoyed?
There's so many of them. I mean, there's right from Satya to, I mean, correct, of India.
Yeah, Mumbai.
Yeah. Otherwise, there is Taxi Driver. There's so many other stuff, and plus, of course, the great Godfather. So the plethora of things that one likes. I don't think I'm so narrow-minded to have just one or two.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a number of. And at the moment, I think one of the best would be Bambai Meri Jaan, which is yet to be seen by the audience, and they'll know why I'm saying it.
Fair enough. Your go-to underworld gangster movie?
I mean, obviously, it's the Bible for any crime drama, Goodfellas by Martin Scorsese. I don't think there's anything that, and of course, The Godfather Part 2. I think probably the best film ever made. For me, those are like really sacred in that sense.
Right.
Comes to underworld, which I am
same as that.
Shujaat as Godfather, because that was something which is. But if it comes to Bombay, then as KK said, picking a favorite would be difficult. We have had ample, fantastic stuff.
Right. I'll restrict you all to a Mumbai-based movies, underworld.
Ask me on 14th. Now I have a new favorite coming out. Please, just ask me on 14th.
Right.
I mean, like we can ask him.
Yeah,
like how KK said,
this is my genre. You all don't have to sell me anything. I'll be watching it as soon as it drops. Thank you, guys. You all have made something that looks something amazing. So really can't wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.